Aries, what lies ahead for you today? That's exactly the first card that I turn over is going to give you some insight into what to expect for today. I'm Barbra, astrologer, tarot reader, and psychic medium, and I'm laying out the tarot cards for all 12 the zodiac signs today. The first card that I turn over for Aries is the Seven of Wands. Now, for all Aries people who are very energetic, the Wands cards often symbolize an added input of energy. Now, I need to tell you a secret. There are two kinds of Aries people. There are extrovert Aries people, and there are introverted Aries people. So today, I'm going to be giving some insight as to how extroverted and introverted zodiac signs cope right throughout the zodiac. So Aries, today you may find it really important to stand your ground. You know where your boundaries are and you don't want to be pushed around. Now, if you're an extroverted Aries, you will probably be all fired up to get things done your way, and in your desire to get things moving and with all of that energy, you could end up being unfair to somebody in your environment. So if your ego is very robust, you really won't care if you're being unfair to people. But the suggestion of the cards is that you pay attention to how you direct your energy so that you get everybody to go along with your plans rather than fight you and not want to go along at all. If you're an introverted Aries person, then the devil reversed here suggests that you might need to lighten up. Maybe you internalize things too much and you can get really tied up on just the little things that really aggravate and irritate you. And the cards are saying, while you may want to stand up for your point, remember that not everybody shares your point of view today. The Hierophant here, which symbolizes rules and traditions, is reversed. So these cards are saying while you want to get your energy moving, you also don't want to get stuck in old behaviors, and be prepared to try to see things in a different way or to handle things in a different manner. So whether you're extroverted or introverted Aries, keep that energy flowing without becoming a right royal pain in the neck. Now, for Taurus, the card that symbolizes Taurus today is the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords always speaks about thinking, speaking, listening. And whenever the Page of Swords is the daily guidance card, it suggests that there are some things that you need to pay attention to. Now, as an extroverted Taurus, you may want a happy family, a happy home, but you may realize that if you want this happy home to work, you're going to have to take the initiative. You're going to have to be the one that shows everybody else how to speak, how to listen. So this is no time for you to get stubborn about anything. Keep in mind that harmony takes quite a bit of work. If you're an introverted Taurus person, then the Seven of Pentacles here suggests that you might want to just step back a little. And I think it's something that you need to be aware of. If you find it's difficult or challenging to talk to people or to actually listen to what they're saying, remember, you can back off and refuse to get involved in the conversation. That way, you'll feel that you protected yourself and you avoid being hurt. But the fact is, if you don't talk about things, people are going to see that as almost like an aggressive thing where things could go ugly, you know. So be prepared that there might be some uncomfortable conversations, but if you don't have the conversations, you might find that you regret the way that you deal with things. So the Page of Swords reminds you to speak, but to listen as much as you speak, and don't rush into anything before you've had a good think about it. Gemini. The Wheel of Fortune is the card that symbolizes your energy for today, And the wheel always speaks about the sense of time and cycles. So you'll be very aware of time today. And because of that time, you might find that things need to get done. You get really fed up. And if you're an extroverted Gemini, you might decide that nobody's really doing their share. You're just going to kick in and do it yourself. However, this may be a good time for you to look at what needs to be done and see how other people can contribute to getting things done. The Queen of Pentacles here suggests in the reversed position, the Pentacles speak about the reality. So the Queen of Pentacles says you might be maybe a little bit too exacting. Your standards may be a bit too high, and that could make it difficult for people to want to cooperate with you, especially if you talk as much as you know Geminis do when they're extroverted. If you're an introverted Gemini, then the 10 of Wands here suggests that you might be feeling like that's it. You've swallowed stuff, you've done it all, and now is the time that you want to actually put your foot down and suggest that everybody else do their share. Now, it might not be easy for you to come out and say that, but if you get all steamed up, you may just very well plonk the chores in front of people that need to be doing them. But remember, you also need to explain that we have so much time, so many things to do, and I need everybody to be doing their share. In fact, the way that these cards have fallen, I would suggest you create a schedule for the day and give everybody jobs and see how that works. So, Gemini, hope that gives you some insight for the day. All right, next card that we turn over is for Cancer, and this is the Death card. Now, don't go panicking. The Death card suggests that it's now time to move on, move away from some old behaviors, old expectations, old hurts that you're nurturing. You know, Cancerians remember things for a long time. And let's see how, if you're an extroverted Cancerian, well, you might find that there's somebody who wants to support you in moving away from the past and moving into something new. So don't be afraid to put the sentimental side of yourself aside and be a little bit more proactive to get something moving again. If you're an introverted Cancerian, oh my, now, you know what happens when you introverts get all moody and think about all the things? The Five of Cups suggests that if you're going to hang on to the past and not move away from the past, you're going to still find plenty to feel sad about. So the Six of Pentacles here suggests that you take a good look at how being stuck in the past, at how costly it is. Does it cost you time, money? Does it cost you attention or affection? So whatever you are, extrovert or introvert, Cancer, it's time to move away from something that you did in the past and try something different. For Leo, the Two of Wands reversed is your card for the day. Now, the Wands cards are fiery, energetic and enthusiastic cards, and of course, Leo being a fire sign, this card symbolizes your ability to talk to others. But because it's reversed, there's a great possibility that somehow or other you'll be on this track and other people will be on that track, and you could, Leo, the Two of Wands is the card that symbolizes your day today. And the Wands card is a card full of energy and drive, just like you are, energetic and sunny and longing to get your point across. But when the Two of Wands is reversed, it suggests that you might be moving in that direction, somebody else moving in that direction, and you might not find the meeting of minds that you're actually looking for. So if you're an extroverted Leo, how would this affect you today? Well, you might realize that there are things to be done, and you don't want to sit around waiting for anybody. But the cards are suggesting that in order to get something done, there's stuff that you can't do on your own. So it would be a good idea for you to keep the lines of communication open and see how everybody can contribute to getting things accomplished today. If you're an introverted Leo, well. Now you know that Leo people can be notoriously sulky. And the Emperor sitting here in the reversed position suggests that when discussions don't go right, you may either retreat within yourself or become a lot more forceful and dogmatic and really stubborn and painful to talk to. And so the cards are suggesting that it's time for you to perhaps just come out of your shell a little bit and see what the discussions need to be, and see how you can adapt and encourage people to talk about things. You know, introvert people are really good listeners. So you might be called on to listen a bit more than speak, and you might find yourself getting a little bit miffed because you've got things to say and nobody wants to listen to you. So stay as focused and as positive as possible, and don't let those introverted tendencies isolate you or make you difficult to be around today. Virgo, the card that symbolizes your day for today is the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is a card of the communicator. So I would surmise that your day is going to be quite active and things are going to be happening around you, and people may be very busy in the area around you as well. If you're an extroverted Virgo, well, then you'll love this lovely energy flowing there, and you'll be chatty and chirpy and doing everything you can to make things good for other people. So these cards suggest there's a really nice outlet for your energies if you're an extroverted Virgo. If you're an introvert, well, the cards are suggesting that be careful, because you can sometimes be a little bit too critical when people have discussions. You know, your mind is wired to spot where things aren't right, where there's a weak argument, and can make you quite critical as well. So be very careful of being critical of the way that people do things, because it's quite possibly your own high standards that are making you judgmental, instead of allowing you to be able to acknowledge what other people are actually doing, where you can actually see they may be doing their best. If they're not doing their best, is a nice way to ask them, is there a better way that you think you could do this? So Virgo, hopefully the Page of Wands brings you good news about the potential opportunities you have to resolve issues without them turning into dramas. Libra, the card that symbolizes your day today is the Three of Cups. And this is a card that says, well, you know, we're here now. We might as well be happy with what we have. And that's something that Libra people are actually really good at. So if you're an extroverted Libra person, you may be doing your best to get everybody in the right mood, to change the focus, to look for everything that's positive and how people can work together. And your ability to see both sides of a question is really enhanced today. So this could be a very good time for you to just be yourself. If you're an introverted Virgo, Libra, sorry, that was quite impolite of me. For an introverted Libra person, you may find it rather difficult to adapt to everybody being happy and maybe noisy and just getting on your nerves today. So Temperance says, just slow down, you know, allow everybody to be who they are. Find your own inner space, go and give yourself a little bit of quiet time, because there's much to learn from other people's joy. And if you retreat into yourself, it kind of like puts you on a level where I don't say you want to look down on them, but you think, can't they go and make a noise somewhere else, you know? So don't lose your sense of humor. There are different ways to deal with things, and trust in your natural ability to see both sides of a question to help you find a better way of dealing with things. Scorpio, the card that symbolizes your day today is the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the Pentacles always speak about our physical reality where we are now. So you might be thinking of something new that you'd love to do, or someplace you'd like to be, or work that you'd like to do, but your focus is likely going to be on what you can't do today. So you'll have this sense of being pulled in two directions between what you want to do, what's possible, and what's not possible. If you're an extroverted Scorpio, rare kind of creature, you will have the influence of the two kings, the King of Wands and the King of Swords. Now, the King of Wands is the card that symbolizes your ability to say, right, well, we have got something that we can do, let's see how we can do that. The King of Swords, when it's reversed, suggests you need to be very careful of the negative side of your very sharp mind, because that could make you over hasty with people, it could make you critical, and it could make you really hard to please. So the choices are how you're going to let this energy manifest in under the challenging circumstances that you may be experiencing now. So don't use those challenges as an excuse for bad behavior. If you're an introverted Scorpio, you may find that it's very comforting. If there's something that you want to do, maybe a business idea, stop and take a good hard look at what your current resources are. You know, you have the ability to see things from a very practical point of view today. So the Knight of Pentacles says, engage your mind, look at the practicalities, and use those practicalities to find the things that you really can do. Now, the Strength card here reversed suggests that the danger for you is giving into the negative side of your character. And as an introverted Scorpio, well, I know that you will spend a lot of time thinking about stuff. You can sometimes get really, really hard on yourself and people around you when you start looking at the things that don't work. So don't undermine yourself, rather look at the realities and see what you can do as constructively as possible. Sagittarius, the card that symbolizes your day today, is the Ace of Wands. Now, this is such a nice, fiery and energetic card, but the Ace of Wands reversed suggests that no matter what you want to do, there's stuff that's just not going to work. Whether it's an attitude or a project or whatever, the creative energy is going within. It doesn't want to be, or your circumstances won't allow you to express it or do something different today. So if you're an extroverted Sagittarius, you may find yourself feeling really cut off from things in life. And when you do feel cut off, you could say and do things that you really regret afterwards. So if you don't want to find yourself out in the cold, control that tongue, control that energy, and rather look at what you can do slightly differently, but without deviating too much from your original plans. If you're an introverted Sagittarian, well, there's a strong suggestion here that you might be looking at what can't be done and realizing that you can either make peace with what can't be done, or you can just make it somebody else's fault. And if you do that, Sagittarius, remember that introverted side of you is actually hiding a very creative mind. So instead of just kicking against the obstacles, remind yourself that if things aren't going anywhere externally, go within. Let that creative energy of yours come to the fore, because you're more than likely to find some creative solutions to some of the problems before the day is out. Capricorn, the card that symbolizes you is the Six of Swords. Now, this is a movement card, but today it suggests you could move in the wrong direction, or it might just look like nighttime is a very long way away. You may find that you're snowed under, or you just feel like very oppressed by what everybody needs from you. So if you're an extroverted Capricorn, remember that if you don't take a little bit of time to pay attention to what's happening around you, you could end up making the day really, really difficult by behaving impulsively and just losing your temper or pulling your eyes, whatever you do. Remember that if you want things to move, don't make it too difficult for the people around you. If you're an introverted Capricorn, well, I have to warn you about that introverted tendency that you don't always realize you have. You can slide into a mood that looks at people and just thinks, I can't even trust you to do the dishes properly. How can I trust you with anything else? It's very ugly. And that, if you fall into that kind of reasoning when things aren't working the way you think, it's going to make you really, really unhappy. So you're going to have to make a strong effort to reorientate your mind and to rather stay looking at the positive things. You've got to look at your situation clearly so that you can spot where your own negative tendencies are and stop them from ruining the rest of your day. So there you go, Capricorn. Some advice to keep you going. Aquarius, your card for the day is the Six of Cups. Now, this is a really nice card because it suggests that family and your home environment is really, really important right now. If you're an extroverted Aquarian, you might be in such a great mood that you are just encouraging everybody to look. It's not the end of the world. There's light at the end of the tunnel. So you'll be a real ray of sunshine. Just be careful of being too much of a ray of sunshine and forgetting that your role that you play, you could actually end up almost being too optimistic for the people around you. So just watch how they react and tone down your act a little bit. You can still be positive, but you don't have to drive them crazy. If you're an introverted Aquarian, then you may find that today you just look at the family and think, oh, I can't handle all of this. Or look at your chores and think, oh, they look like a mountain ahead of me. So the Six of Wands and the Three of Wands suggest that your energy and your creativity is going to be repressed, or you might find that your loved ones resist the suggestions that you make to change the focus. So be aware, there's more than one person involved here, and likely everybody else will be playing according to their rules. And it will be very important for you to kind of like just adapt and tone down that rest aside of yourself and remind yourself that you're an equal participant in the happiness in your home today. And then for Pisces, your card for today is the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is a card that suggests that you're focused. You might feel that you want to spend some time on your own, that you don't really want to open up to other people. Now, if you're an outgoing extrovert, the cards suggest the Lovers reversed and the Five of Swords suggest that if you turn in on yourself and your loved ones don't understand where you are, if you haven't told them anything, you just withdraw and get all quiet, they're going to be really worried what's happening. So don't let anything negative come about. You know, if you want to spend some me time, tell everybody so they know where they stand. Otherwise, you could find yourself involved in an argument that could get really ugly, and that could just destroy the harmony of the day. So try not to let that happen if it's at all in your power. And if you're an introverted Piscean, what do we have here? Now, the moon card very often symbolizes Pisces. So if you're introverted, remember that when you go within, if you're going within, you're getting all depressed, it can grow and grow and grow and grow until all you can see are the dark clouds around you. And you could end up making yourself feel really, really, really unhappy. And because of that, you could lose the joy and your enthusiasm for the things that are really good in your life. So instead of sitting and focusing on what's wrong, what you can't do, what you don't have, you know what I mean? Get up and go and check your face in the mirror, because if you've got a hangdog expression, the people around you are going to react to that. And if you get defensive when they say, what's the matter, you're in a mood, things could go wrong. So if somebody cares enough to ask you what's happening, you should care enough about yourself to say, I'm feeling X, Y, and Z, and do you want to listen, or should I take a walk or make some tea or whatever? So there's always something that you can do when you realize that no matter what kind of mood you get yourself into, the people around you may not want to be a part of that mood, and they may offer you an opportunity to get out of that little box. So Pisces, don't stay in that box where it's dark. Rather get yourself out and be happy with the people around you.